Josh, I have to address the elephant in the room. You know,
What's that? What's that?
do you love me more than your wife?
Only when she's not here.
I'm Joe.
I'm Josh.
You've got questions.
Yo, feeling grounded.
Welcome back.
Season 2, baby.
Welcome to
Oh, and our
Feeling
voice
Grounded.
announcer, we missed you.
with your hosts, Josh and Joe.
Oh, season
Season
two.
2. Season 2. Season 2.
Can't believe this is about a week from right now. It's going to be our anniversary of when we started season 1.
I know. That's crazy. 1 year. I've never done anything consecutively for 1 year. I can proudly say.
Well, I can probably mention like your guitar playing, though.
That's true. Yeah, okay. There's that. Being married, being a dad. So there's a few things, I guess.
So there is a bunch of stuff. We're not
Oh
consistent
man,
at all. You
not at
guys should
all.
all just log off right now. Speaking of which, thank you guys also for people tuning in after the fact or tuning in right now. I really appreciate it. I can speak also for Josh. He really appreciates it too. This is probably one of our most fun things that we have ever done, Josh and I. So speaking of which, this is Feeling Grounded Podcast. Please follow us on Twitch to see our live streams. We live stream every Sunday at 3 p.m. And also on our Instagram page, you guys will be able to see exclusive content that Josh and I genuinely love to put out there. Follow us also on YouTube as well. Spotify, we're on, Apple Podcasts. Check our link in our bio for Instagram, and you guys will see the other links that we are attached to. Oh,
Yeah,
we
sounds
spread
good.
ourselves out pretty thin,
Yeah, yes we do. I know we're all over the place, but it's good. It's good. For
among
the
other
sake.
things.
Yeah, exactly. So Joe, it's been like how long has it been? Like a month or something?
Yeah, we took a longer hiatus than we wanted to. Spent some time with family.
Yeah, definitely, definitely kind of moving in a direction. Uh Having some good life changes, I would hope. I know we got to talk about like how things are going.
Yeah, even before this, like our prep meeting, which is on Twitch right now, we didn't really talk about our lives. We were just talking about today's episode and for the rest of the month too, those episodes as well. So we didn't really get too much insight into how each of us were in the past month.
Yeah, yeah. So how you doing, man? How's life?
Life has been difficult.
Mm,
Uh, in other ways, there's been resting recuperation, so I can speak for that and be fortunate enough.
yeah.
You can finally see my chin and my jawline. Which, speaking of which, I've been chewing a lot of gum, so it's been a lot more chiseled.
Yeah.
I'm talking about really like I shaved and now I just have 5 o'clock shadow right now. My
Right.
hair has been growing out a lot more, so I have that luxury. If I had more beard, I'd look homeless. I have a haircut scheduled in a week and a half. I might
Mhm.
cancel it because I kind of like this long hair.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking of growing my hair out too, and then my beard. I've been keeping it pretty trim.
Hmm.
I'm kind of have a desire to look homeless, but I don't know yet. the Let's see. Uh, you just have to look at our very first episode to see homeless Joe. So if you want to see what Joe looks like with a
Go on YouTube.
gross
Yep.
beard, no,
It was when I was doing the year challenge, and then I
that's right.
realized that was when masks were still in full force, and that it kind of grosses up the beard. I could
Oh
get it
yeah.
back. I could. My hair was just as long as it is now,
Mhm.
but I look a lot more clean cut and a lot more approachable. People weren't scared off at my face.
Right, right. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I told myself I'm not gonna shave my beard off until I'm at my goal weight, which I'm getting closer to, but
Yeah.
eventually we're gonna try it. I did go to like a 1, which I haven't done a 1 in like forever. Um, so I'm going to give it a try and shave it off completely when
Easter time?
yeah, around Easter, around
Figured.
Easter.
Yeah.
Probably either that or like the summer. I may do during the summer, but we'll see.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you shaved off since college. For people that are just clinging in right now, Josh and I were old college buddies, and we didn't even really talk freshman year.
No, yeah, I think our sophomore year is when we started hanging,
Yeah.
being good buds, and then eventually we became very close our senior year.
And then we started living together.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Let's just see. I wonder if I have. Oh, I can't do it on this. Just like show that picture, but I don't think
You
I
still
can.
have it? Oh man, no kidding. Yeah, get that
Yeah,
stuff
it's
up.
it's in my yeah. Let me see if I can do this. I'll share my screen in a little bit once I find the picture of us in. I think it was our sophomore year. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Oh, you got the hugging one?
Yeah. Where is that? Just gonna awkwardly take forever to try to find this picture.
Well,
so Joe, while I'm trying to find this, yeah, tell me more. Tell me more. How's your life?
Well, in the past month, there's been a lot of like ups and downs. For example, I'll talk about really my crappy right now. I got hit. My car got hit 2 weeks ago. It was a hit and run.
Oh, I have the video. Here's the video. Here's the picture.
Oh man, let's take a look at this. Oh man, look at that. It's not exactly a comb over. I think I just took a shower right beforehand and
Yeah. Look at that.
Wow, look at those triceps.
All right, what were you saying? So you got hit? Your car got hit?
Yeah, I hit and run. I was away from the scene. I had just started going to the chiropractor just for preventative care. My body's fine, but I'll talk more about that later. I got hit by a school bus, supposedly a school bus. That's what people who were near the scene. I tried to get security footage of the event, and they didn't have it. All respective parties, all nearby buildings. So it was like me chasing the Zodiac. You can't find him. So
yeah, there you go. That's annoying.
I haven't exhausted all options yet, so there's still hope. But it'll be like a needle in the haystack. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's not. It's not. I don't think it's imperative for insurance company. So we'll see.
How bad was the damage? Was it like really sideswiped or like
on my left side? There's a big gash. So it's not the end of the world. Car still runs great. The mirror has to be replaced because the plastic on the back came off. It's not like you can just put plastic on the back anyway.
Right.
So I'm lucky that like it wasn't totally totaled. Sorry for the redundancy.
Totally totaled.
Totally totaled. Put that on a shirt.
There you go. I would wear that shirt. I'm sorry to hear that, bro. That's not fun.
It's not the worst thing in the world. I was probably at like a 6 out of 10 as far as agitation is concerned.
Okay.
Yeah, I had some choice words about the situation.
You were a 6 on the Richter scale.
Earthquakes were about to happen, man.
Feel that. Cool. Well, what about some good things in your life? What's like a good thing from recent weeks?
Well, I would say that there's been a lot more involvement for me at my church. I've been working with youth there, so developing a lot more relationships, and also a lot more worship guitar playing. Because for people who don't know, I play guitar for my church every Sunday for 2 services, and it's a blast. Getting more of a feel of it because I had never played that genre ever at this point a year and a half ago. It's coming up to that. As far as the timetable goes, I'm really excited for things moving forward with church, getting more comfortable. It sounded fire this morning.
Nice.
Yeah. So
that's great. That's great. Same with me. Yeah, Claire and I are playing at Mass, and
yes,
we today we had a children's choir, and there's like a lot of people there, and it was really awesome. Doing we did some Shane and Shane songs. I don't know if you've ever heard any Shane and Shane, but it's pretty fun.
I haven't.
I'll
Send me
you.
some text. Send me a text.
Yeah, I'll send you a video or two. Yeah, the song was really cool and it sounded really, really great. I heard lots of sniffles afterwards, so you know when you hear sniffles that
People are
music's
impacted.
music's doing its thing. But yeah, I would say for me, I had a lot of changes in the past month or so. I got a job. I'm at my lowest weight again, which is good. So the job that I got is I'm teaching music. So I'm a private music instructor at a music school, about 45 minutes from here. So I do guitar, I do piano, and I do drums. And I already have a ton of students already, which is crazy. Like they really loaded on real fast,
Right.
which is good, which is great. So it's really happening, which is dope. But I've been pretty happy with that, and the kids are doing really well. Things are going well. Can't really complain.
Yeah, they're not sick anymore. Every time I feel like we've talked, your kids have been sick.
Well, as of today, as of like this moment, they're okay. But yeah, that's part of my literally crappy, if you know what I'm saying. Will be that, but things are good.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be doing a live show. This is so cool that we can do this live now.
Yeah,
with this
exactly.
awesome thing.
It feels a lot more genuine. I mean, we're always genuine guys for the most part.
Right.
There's no faking. No. But yeah.
Now everyone can see all the flubs, all the times, and I trip over my own words and
ums and uhs.
Yeah, say all the dumb things that I say without thinking. It's good.
Nah.
All right. You wanna slide into some happy crappies?
Yeah, sure.
Is that cool with you?
No.
No, it's not cool with you. All right, well, too bad.
It's time for Happy Crappy.
So my happy, that was actually a pretty good transition. We'll get
there.
So my happy was I started going to the chiropractor, and I can briefly explain why. I had gotten a massage where I work, and they just talked with me a bunch of like spinal misalignment stuff. Like it's just a little bit deviated, and if you let it go too much, it's particularly also like in the neck too, which is a big concern area for me. Essentially, what they teach is subluxation. Have you ever heard that term before, subluxation?
Nope.
Basically, the discs in your entire spine, they connect to the rest of the nervous system, like, you know, because your spine like connects to the central nervous system. And if there's any like misalignment, eventually those nerves, like those discs, are going to like shrink, and then the bones, they'll, you know, start grinding. And essentially, that's why you see a lot of older folks have like back problems, just problems like in their neck or something. Like it's because it's getting all bony and it's getting misaligned even more. And all those bones are grinding against each other. Bare bones, that's the argument right here. And so if you align it, especially early enough, like me, I'm only 27. I'm only like in their phase 1, which is the most mild. So really the only concerns are in my neck. Basically, after 8 months of treatment, I should be fully.
Nice. That's great.
Yeah.
Man. That's
so
great.
I went to a couple classes beforehand because they offer free food there, and who's going to deny free food in this day and age? So that's always fun to go to. They have you on for, depending on your treatment, they have you 3 times a week for 15-minute adjustment or something like that. And then in a couple weeks, I'll be just 2 a week. And then at the very end, just 1 adjustment a week.
Sure. Does it hurt or does it feel good? Like, is it a bad experience?
Essentially, like the lead up to it is the time that I'm the most anxious because they use a lot of pressure, quick pressure. It's quick. So like, it's basically like you getting a shot or something like that. It happens like that. Like if you're ever scared of shots or something like that. So yeah, you have to like breathe out, which when I'm anticipating, you know, the crack, I'm like, oh, breathe. Just, it's going to be fine.
Yeah. I've never been in that scenario before, so I don't know what that would be like.
No, so far I endorse it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I've
At least for
actually
right
been
now.
thinking that's part of my crappy is like I've been having some neck pain myself
Hmm.
and just like some
Yeah, because it's worth it.
stiffness.
I'm sure. The only reason I went was because it was a free consultation. They do an X-ray to just tell you what's up
Mm,
with your body, and then you come back like a week later or so
like a
and be like,
plan. They
"Hey,
have a plan for
let's
you.
let's 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 review. Do you want to just be treated, or do you want it to be corrected?" And of course, you want it to be corrected. You don't want to stay in the same position that you're in, especially if you're worse for wear.
Right,
You
right.
know.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So yeah.
Well, cool, man. Well, cool. So that's your crappy then, right? Because you've what did you say? Was that your happy?
No, no, that is definitely my happy
You're
because
happy.
yeah, I mean, obviously it gets a little bit sore right after the fact, but then you put your heating pad on.
You're good to
Uh,
go. Cool, man.
yeah,
Cool.
you're good to go. Let things open up.
Sure. Well, my happy is just some pretty cool days at work, and then today my family they're starting a weight loss pool. So my side of the family, not my wife's side, they decided, gosh, recently that they were going to do this weight pool where the everyone's going to put in $100 and then try to lose their lose as much weight as possible within 3 months. So everyone, I
Uh-huh.
think there's like 7 people or so that put in some money. So it's like my parents, my grandparents, my brother, my sister, me. We're all going to do this thing. And we're going to see at the end, after the end of 3 months, who looks the best, who's lost the most
Yeah,
weight, and then they're gonna
yeah,
get the pool. So I'm really
yeah,
looking forward to that. It's good. It's exciting. Like added motivation on top of the stuff that I've already been doing, and I needed a
yeah,
little push because the past 2 months or so I haven't really seen as much improvement in my
yeah,
weight
yeah.
loss and exercise. Um,
Well, when you're
so
at
it's
that
nice.
plateau, you kind of have to like add some other
Yeah,
various things to confuse the body a little bit more, so that you can
yeah, exactly. And you have to work. You
make
have to
that
work
sudden change.
harder, and like
Hmm.
it just makes everything a little bit harder. Um,
Yeah,
but
that's
that's
the thing.
okay.
Just work harder. That's all you got to do. Just work harder.
Yeah, it's easy. That's yeah. Well, simple as that.
Just 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 lose the weight. That's all you got to do.
It's
What are you
easy.
doing, you dingus?
Why are you sad? Just be happy.
Yeah, just be happy. Just work harder.
Come on. But yes, that's my happy. It's exciting. Newfound inspiration and motivation to achieve my goal, my resolution of being 220 pounds. And right now I'm at 233. So I'm getting there, getting close.
Oftentimes, whenever New Year's resolutions happen, I'm not saying this is you or your family at all,
Right. Sure.
um, but I often see people on social media say, I'm going to announce on social media that in a week from now, I'm going to start losing a bunch of weight.
Hmm.
Like they're advertising it. But for this first week, I'm just going to eat whatever I want.
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah.
And then once I lose all the weight, I'm going to post again.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
The
start.
yeah,
Just
I know.
start it.
I
Just
know.
do stuff.
Yeah, you don't need to do things for
Just
show. That's something I hate about social media is people doing things for show. It's like virtue signaling and all that stuff. It's like, come on, just be real. Like jump into your real life and do something. Don't like just announce to the world.
honestly, I'm not a bit surprised because everybody became a health expert, and then all of a sudden we're all geopolitical experts.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's why I'm so glad I don't have
But
social media because it's really saving me from stress. I think. But well, I know. Uh,
oh
okay,
yeah,
yeah.
when I got rid of Facebook and Snapchat,
Mhm.
I don't need it.
Yeah. Agreed, 100%. Now I just got to stop checking out news sources. That's where my next thing I'm working on. Got rid of social media,
Absolutely.
but now it's too many trips to news sites.
It'll be a bunch of
Um,
fear mongering, and we're still
no,
seeing
yeah,
it.
definitely. And outrage porn, like just like it's just awful stuff. Like just makes you
Yeah.
scared and angry on purpose. Like just so you get addicted to those
And
responses.
neurologically screwed up.
Yeah, exactly. So
Hmm.
it's not good. There's this TED talk I saw. I didn't watch it, but I saw it. I saw that it exists. And there was a guy talking about how he quit news and he hasn't watched news for like 30, 40 years. And the whole idea of that is like, hey, we shouldn't be watching news because the news that we have is like supposed to be entertainment. So the
Yeah.
whole concept is like just getting your endorphins and your emotions fired up on different topics and the way that they word things and all this stuff to like try to get you to respond a certain way so that you like want to keep watching.
Yeah.
And of course, everything nowadays we know is
as we're
narrative.
seeing, it's more divisive than ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So now it's all narrative driven. So it's just.
And now,
been a
why
lot
do you
worse.
think that we took out our news segment months and months ago?
Yeah, exactly. Just because it's
'Cause
awful.
we don't want to be like that. I mean,
No, no.
obviously, in our talks, we'll still be privy to those subjects, I'm sure, at some point. But as far as it being scheduled all the time, no.
Yeah, no way. No thanks.
Hard pass.
Hard pass. Plus, I'm an idiot and I don't really know that much, so I can't really contribute or sound like a intelligent human being when I try to talk about these topics. So
Well, I can't really blame you because it's just what do you trust?
yeah, there's that too. You're getting all this information from everywhere and nothing's true. How did we get on this topic? All right, so my happy, that was my happy. It was the weight loss pool. So I'm excited.
We talked about oh yeah, we talked about weight loss and then just got
and
into
health, and social media, but
divisiveness
just
in
taking away.
news.
Yeah, good stuff.
All right,
All right,
fair enough.
crappies. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, it would probably have to be not finding the security footage of the poor soul that grazed my car.
Poor unfortunate souls.
Yeah, so if only I can find the Zodiac right now. We'll see.
Yeah, it's a Zodiac killer. Apparently, they figured that out. Somebody actually figured out who it was. Did you see that?
No.
There was a news story. I want to say, gosh, I was still living in Smithtown when I saw it. So it was at least a year ago, where this guy, this like expert coding guy, that cracked the codes or whatever. Remember, he would like write down
the ciphers.
Yeah, and somebody like figured it out finally, and it was like a side like third party guy that was just smart enough to like to crack it, and he figured out who it was, and so now we know, and it's identified. We have identified the Zodiac
Are you
killer.
sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Because this is 40. Like the killer is most likely dead.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I think he's dead. Yeah.
Okay. Because I love the Zodiac movie. I wouldn't say I'm an expert at all, but I've watched that so many times. Obviously, it's clearly biased to one person named Arthur Lee Allen, which people still didn't rule him out even after he got his supposed heart attack. I love this whole story because it's so interesting.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, it's true. Oh yeah, I'll show it to you. Right here. Bam.
What do you got?
So
okay, Zodiac killer, real identity
finally revealed.
This isn't clickbait, is it? Okay. According to a report from the RAP, FBI, and police, California. Okay. You got a name? Definitely, if they're referencing Batman, that movie that just came out, which I did see, they're definitely referencing the Zodiac killer
right here. I don't want to say it because I don't want to give him screen time, but this is who.
Yeah.
Or like just to even say his name. But
right.
They figured out.
Okay, I'll continue.
Yeah.
Oh, and of course they put in the Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
Yeah. And it's Robert Downey Jr. too, right?
Yeah. Yep, on the left, and you also got Mark Ruffalo.
Really? I've never seen this movie.
Yeah, dude, it's on Netflix. Go ahead, go for it. I totally recommend it. One of my favorites. Yeah, Mark Ruffalo is the policeman on the case.
Very cool.
Yeah. Works in homicide.
Nice.
Yeah, but as I said before, that is still invading my mind a little bit. It was a lot worse last week. We're trying to find this guy, but I had to pray with my young adult group a couple days ago. Just be like, hey, it's a little bit consuming, this hatred I have for somebody that I don't even know, and it could have just been an accident. I mean, it was an accident. I'm sure they didn't maliciously do it, but maybe they didn't even know and they just kept on driving and didn't I hit somebody.
Yeah, maybe they didn't even realize it. Yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you, bro. That's never fun with stuff like that. Car stuff is just awful, especially with things with accidents. It can be such a
Mhm.
hassle. It's just annoying to have to take care of it and like go to all these lengths to deal with that kind of scenario.
Yeah,
Um,
my lease is up in my car in about 6 months, and I'm thinking about just keeping this car, even though I've had some bad luck with it. It still runs great.
mhm.
It's just with this whole microchip situation. Am I actually doing? Because I'm pretty low on that mileage right now. I might as well just finance it, pay it off, and then eventually sell it, and then get something totally different.
Hey,
Because
there you go.
I have a car that's pretty close to the ground. I want something that it's an upgrade. It is raised up from there. I just like bigger cars.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
feel that.
So
Cool, bro.
I'm gonna stick with it most likely. We'll see.
Cool.
Well, what about your crappy?
So my crappy is my younger son. He had some belly problems the past like 3 or 4 days, and that was not fun to deal with. Let's just say that some lower GI, a lot of messes I had to clean up. Let me just say that. But he's much
Was it
better
is it
today.
Eli? It was Eli, right?
No, it's John.
Oh,
The twin, one of the twins. Um, but yeah, so that's pretty much it. Other than that, I mean, and then my neck has been bugging me a little bit. I've been kind of stiff. Um, but other than that, that's pretty much it. I've been pretty happy. Things have been good. Can't really complain that much. All good things. Cool.
yeah. Go to the chiropractor. I'll find a good one for you.
Yeah, sure thing. Sounds good, brother. All right, you want to?
We'll go together after our haircut at the Italian place.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. All right,
Yeah, let's go
man.
into timeline.
Want to move in a timeline?
Absolutely.
The future is inevitable, but let's travel back in time.
So this point, March 13th,
Mhm.
1781, the planet Uranus. Comment what you
Joe.
guys
It's Uranus.
comment what you guys think it is because I'm stupid and I've heard it from experts on both sides. Um, maybe I'm just a follower. Maybe I just follow with the crowd. All right, so Uranus is discovered. Gosh, I discovered Uranus.
I was
So
waiting for
yeah,
that.
March 13th, 1781, the planet Uranus discovered. So English astronomer, his name is William Herschel. He observed this day, 1781, the seventh planet from the sun, Uranus.
Huh.
It was first described to him as a curious, either nebulous star or perhaps even a comet. And it was named for the father of the god Saturn.
Which
Yep.
was Uranus. Yeah.
So on this day, William Herschel, he discovered Uranus, the first of the planets to be discovered in modern times. Crazy. So
Oh.
prior to Herschel's discovery, all of the known planets were identified about thousands of years prior. And in fact, like other stargazers, right, had seen the
Mhm.
planet as early as 128 BC, but they all believed it was a star. So obviously they had seen it before, but they thought it was this ginormous star. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. And so the name Uranus, I guess I'm back to that, caught on and received this widespread support. After a while, the newly discovered element uranium, actually,
Mm.
bombs, thanks, Plankton, was named to show support for this idea. And by 1850, as early as 1850, Uranus was officially adopted as the name of the seventh planet.
Wow. Well, there you go. I love it. I never knew that about Uranus and how it was discovered like that. That's kind of cool. I wonder how they like made those. Like, how was astronomy a thing like way back then? I mean, I'm sure they had it. I know they like map stars and like all that stuff. But did they have like telescopes and things like that back
For
then?
this one,
Like
it
very
was
primitive.
during 1781. Did they? They
Hmm.
did.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And even before that, yeah, I guess they must have, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of probably a dumb question, but
We didn't major in science, so the
no,
more you know.
I don't know anything about astronomy. I'm just gonna come out and say that I know that there's stars in the sky and that the sun is present and it's
Well, if I
hot.
had taken the astronomy class at school, at college, I would have been able to. However, it was a scheduling conflict and they only had one timetable. So I had to
I
take
see.
geology,
Wow. You
rocks.
took geology?
Yeah, and
I took physical science.
it was a chore, that class, and I got like a B minus
Mm.
because after like the halfway point, I was like, I don't understand this.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like I hate gen eds. Like I think that it's such a stupid thing. Like I understand the idea of it. Like, hey, you should get
Oh, your core
well-rounded
classes.
education. You
Yep.
should learn things other than the stuff that you're focused on. But
Yeah, there's
I would
merit to the
argue
well-developed
latter.
background. Yeah.
Yeah,
But you
yeah,
know,
but
some of those classes that make no sense, like they always have a university course that you're supposed to take at the
I
beginning of
know,
your
and it's just
college.
like
Like
learning how
our
to
yeah,
exist. Like,
yeah, no, not even that. Learning how to learn. Like that was our book,
yeah,
learning how to learn. And
right.
those papers, that's how you learn how to BS a paper.
Yeah.
Because it's literally just drivel 2 pages of you saying, "Yeah, I really got to make sure I think about what I say before I act." You know, that's
Mm.
really important. I'm very, 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 very excited to learn how to incorporate that into my life. It's so, so, so engaging when I can have a conversation with my like, you know, just on and on and on. Oh, wow, this is a really A plus paper.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Where did you get your degree, lady?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. That's what I think with that's why I'm like really big on the concept of the conservatories, like really focusing on one thing and then
One
everything is kind
pursuit,
of
yeah.
within the confines of like your vocation or like your desire, your job, all and I think there's something great to that. Something great
Mm-hmm.
to that.
Mm-hmm. Because aren't we designed to
Anyways,
just focus on one pursuit?
mm,
Yep.
yeah.
Do that well-developed background thing and incorporate how to do your taxes too, because that's pretty important. And we kind of don't do that for some
Mm.
backwards reason
Yeah, no,
in
they really
middle
should.
school.
Right. Yeah, they should teach you that stuff. All right, cool. So that was yours. Discovering Uranus. Mine was in March 13, 1943. It was a failed assassination attempt on Adolf Hitler
Oh,
during
okay.
a flight. Okay, so there was apparently 20 assassination attempts, close to 20 assassination attempts upon him. That
The
obviously
first
none of
instance is
them
before he actually had
worked.
power. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The first one was in 1921. He was doing this rally in Munich,
Hmm.
and this guy just in the crowd like took out a weapon and fired
Did
at
it
him,
impact him?
and it missed him. But then he responded by shooting back, which was crazy because apparently
Well, he had it ready to go.
he always carried one with him. But basically, so this thing happened where some people were plotting to take him out,
Hmm.
and they figured out that he was going to fly to the Western Front. I think it was the Western Front
Okay.
during the war on D-Day. Okay, just to see how things were going, like how the situation is looking. So he took this flight to I want to say Minsk or somewhere, Berlin.
Hmm.
I don't know, somewhere. And so these people like figured that out. They figured out what plane he was using. They got the blueprints for it, and
Yeah.
then they like wrote out how we're gonna do this thing. And then they actually like planted this explosive device on the plane, and
Wow.
they put like this I forget. It's kind of like C4, where it's like
Uh-huh.
a pliable kind of putty substance that
Yeah.
they had a fuse going to it, and they put it in a bottle of brandy, and they put it in the cargo area of this
Yeah.
plane. But apparently, because the cargo area was so cold, that it did not go off because it was so cold. And so this perfect attempt in this article that I was reading said that it should have worked.
Just change the course of history.
It changed the course of history because it was too cold for this thing to go off, um, and it just failed to detonate, leaving him okay and landing and making it and surviving until the end of the war.
What do they call this operation? Flash?
Operation Flash, yeah, yep, which makes sense.
They had the most based names ever.
I know, honestly, they really did. Joe, have you seen Inglorious Bastards?
Of course I have. I remember seeing it in theaters.
Such a good movie. Such a good movie. Anyways, so that's mine. That's my timeline.
Honestly, some of the other ones, like all those World War II movies, which just shows the pinnacle of our camaraderie as a nation.
Mhm.
I just love World War II movies. For example, Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Obviously, that took place in Germany, but I also love one most recent one came was Operation Finale with Oscar Isaac, Ben Kingsley. That was a good one too.
I didn't
Good
see that
end,
one.
good end. It was a good one
Mm.
about Adolf Eichmann, and they're trying to capture him for his crimes back in the 1940s.
I see. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, they captured him
Crazy.
in early 60s, I believe.
For the Nuremberg things,
Mhm.
trials.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
That's great,
crazy how
man.
if that had worked, what would have taken place afterwards?
Yeah. How different things would have become.
Alternate history is, I mean, you can debate it at any point, but when someone actually puts it into work, like for example, Man in the High Castle, where uh, Germany and Japan won,
Hmm.
and you just have like this dystopian United States that's split down the middle between Germany and Japan. Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, Amazon Prime, I think it is. I'm still working on the show. The last episode, I mean, it's a great show. I had just
Uh-huh.
been focused on Seinfeld or some other show.
There you go. Yeah. Sure thing, man. Sure thing. All right. Cool. Let's.
You look great, though. You look great, Josh.
I look great. All right, man. All right, man. So, do you want to? Whoops. Do you want to dive into our main discussion? The main discussion of
Yes,
today.
I just a little bit. Yeah, I kind of do want to.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little tidbit discussion.
Little some tiddlywinks. All right, Joe. What are we talking about today?
So, how to be romantic. As I said before, Josh, do you love me more than your wife? I think we are the most romantic people in the entire world. Not towards each other. I think we're at the bromance stage. We are not at the romance stage, and nor shall we
Right.
ever be.
Right.
That was a little clickbaity. So sorry for people that are listening and
Think otherwise.
are trying to think of that outcome. That's not happening. We are bromance. We've been best friends
Right.
since 2015.
Yeah.
So Josh, who's more romantic, women or men?
Danger! 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 Alarm bells. Ringy dingy ding.
Is there a real clear cut answer? I have no idea. But what I do
Right.
know is that men's romanticism oftentimes kicks their butts and plays against them. How many times, like for people listening right now, how many times has this happened to you? How many times, like for guys right now, maybe even girls too, how many times have guys met some girl that just rung all the bells, checked every single box? Yes, I want that in them, or something like that. You've met her only a couple times, maybe even once, sure, and you just project this made up future. Your mind just goes like, and you're only like thinking about it for 5 minutes, and a lot happens in 5 minutes when you're thinking. You project this made up future, and you haven't even like talk with her for more than like 30 seconds or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely done that. I've definitely done that. Which is crazy to think about because normally, like when you just said that, like my thought was like, well, yeah, I feel like women do that too, but like men definitely do that. They definitely do that because I think women tend to dream about the wedding day, and men have this desire of like, let's just go all in and like think about the whole line.
I still oftentimes see, like, after talking with them after they get engaged with their woman, of course, they're like, yeah, I got the engagement ring a week after we started dating.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Crazy,
Yeah,
right?
there's some people that are like that,
When
definitely,
did you when
definitely.
did you get your engagement ring with Claire?
So, well, I knew as soon as we started dating that she was the one.
Yeah,
Like
you knew immediately.
I knew
Yeah.
immediately, even
Some
before I
some people
met.
are
Oh,
just wired that way.
this is
Yeah.
what I'm talking. This is just proof to what you're saying. Before we even started dating, like the first time I met her, like honestly, when I saw her at the retreat where she was leading it, and she just
Yeah,
came
yeah.
into her room, I was like, she's gonna
The
be my
one.
wife. She's the
Yeah.
one. And it took me a little while before we started dating, but yeah. I mean, from then I knew, but I didn't buy the engagement ring until like the week that I proposed.
Oh, okay.
But so I didn't buy it right away.
But you knew
I
like where you were gonna
knew,
get it. You
yeah, yeah.
knew what type of look it would be.
Well, I
I'm
don't know
sure.
about that. I just got something that was affordable, but
Don't lie. Don't lie. You
but
know where you were going to get it though. Okay.
yeah, I did, yeah. But
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I might not have a clear cut answer, but what I do know is that this kind of plays against them, and I'll get more into like the negative aspects of that in a tiny bit because this is how to be romantic. And here are your experts, Josh and Joe, if you didn't already know. So if you're living under a rock, which we all have been for the last 2 years, um, yeah, socialization just like went out the window.
yeah, it's really changed the game for the dating scene. But I'm hoping for people that are out there dating
Hmm.
that which I'm not, but but
You date yourself.
hopefully.
You date your wife still. You still got to be that
Yeah,
romantic
yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah. No, that's true. That's true. And then hopefully we return to some kind of a normal where people can go out again and hang out and be together and that kind of atmosphere. But
What
it
is
is what it
normal?
is. Yeah,
But
yeah.
you imagine courting this person, proposing to them on some hill or some mountaintop. You imagine the specific amount of kids that you're gonna have. And then, like, this is the funniest part. You imagine dying in their arms at age 87, 88, or whatever,
Mm.
surrounded by all of these kids that you guys are destined to have. And you only chatted with them once. How many
Yeah.
times does this happen to you people?
Let us know in the comments.
It
Yeah,
happens to
yeah.
every dude. It happens to every guy, from what I know of, because obviously I'm a dude. Like for example, high school I cringe at, but
Mm.
I love it at the same time because it's like I'm a totally different person. Like that's that Joe. This is
Mm.
a different Joe. Like I often think of myself as like a different because this is like 10, 15 years ago. And it's hilarious because like I remember I was talking with my brother-in-law in the middle of all this happening in high school. We were working out, and I said, "Yeah, like such and such person," and he said, "Yeah, in 15 years, you're not going to really be thinking about this anymore." And that's what's hilarious. You're just going to be laughing at yourself.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Well, time, there's a lot changes, a lot change, especially from high school through college and on into adulthood. Like there's some
yeah,
big changes that occur, especially in the bros, especially in us
yeah.
men. We tend to
Hmm.
mature at a much slower rate, I would say. So,
Hmm. The story I was going to mention is
mhm.
that this probably happened to at least 4 or 5 girls in high school at random various points. You know, you have this opportunity that you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna talk to her. Like it's the end of the day. I'm gonna go to her locker or whatever, whatever. And
Mm.
then you're walking by. You got to have like some friends near you or whatever, just to like pump you up. And then once you reach there, and they're like they just happen to like destined to lock eyes with you, you're like, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah. Yeah, the heart starts thumping and you don't know what to say and you start sweating a little bit.
Sweaty palms. And then if you like shake somebody's hand and you sweaty, geez, that's like the eject button for most people. Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Just get some talcum powder for for those
Your
rock
hands.
climbers.
You're like,
Have somebody help you. There are gym classes in there, and they have that.
there we go, man. That's great. That's great.
Yeah, but talking about you only chat with the person one time, and then you imagine like all this stuff happening, and you project all of that history that has not happened yet. This all comes
Mm,
from a dude's ability to be planners,
yeah. Yeah.
and it's all in their head. They never write it down. Yeah, guys are planners. They plan futures. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, I 100% am a planner. I think in different degrees and in different areas of my life. I thought definitely when I was like in high school, I had this whole plan of like what my life's gonna be like. Like I'm gonna just, I'm gonna marry my high school sweetheart. I'm gonna become a music teacher. We're gonna go back. I'm gonna work at the school that I went to in high school, and then that's just gonna be my life to the end of my days. But then, of course, none of that happened at all. complete, complete different direction. But which I'm really happy it did. Um, but the whole Yeah. But even now, like every step of the way when things change,
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, okay, well now this is what it's gonna be. And then it changes
Hmm.
again and it's not that. And I'm like, oh, well, this is what it's gonna be. And then
Right.
oh, it's not that. And then this is so like I'm constantly like looking at the
Hmm.
next thing and the next stages of my life, being like just laying it out with the hope of something, something there. But yeah, I'm definitely a planner.
Do you think, because you were mentioning hope right there, and obviously with hope and things don't actually end up, because life happens, things
Hmm.
don't end up happening the way that hope would have it. Do you think that in that instance, hope makes people depressed when things don't pan out the way that they want to, as far as like romantic concerns are concerned?
Well, I think it just depends on the type of person that you are. I
Yeah.
think a lot of people will either feel that way, when things may not go the way that they desire it to, it may get them down
Hmm.
they may feel defeated.
Yeah.
And I think rightfully so, especially if it's like a rejection or whatever it is. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, like this whole plan that I had, it's ruined because she didn't like me or she didn't respond to this thing that I did. But I feel
Hmm.
like in the same token, there's another group of people that would be like, no, like this is an opportunity for growth. This is an opportunity to, you know, pull myself up
Yeah.
and
Find that
and
next
and
special person.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Move on from here, like learn from the mistakes, like learn
Hmm.
from this rejection, this failure, whatever, and then just run with reckless abandon into into another scenario. Um, yeah,
Immediately. Heartbreak.
immediately.
Immediately.
Jump, where is it? Where is she? Yeah, immediately from there. Exactly.
Well, yeah, I would have to say, like, especially if you're going through that rejection, too. I mean, not to say that, like, I'm not trying to say this in like a promiscuous sense, but there's always somebody better. If somebody, rejects you for people, I guess we're going into that territory right now. Uh, don't beat yourself up about that.
Yeah, no, it's not a strike against you just because someone doesn't, like jive with whatever it is that you're like or whatever. There's always going to be someone. There's so many people out there. It's like someone's going to
Hmm.
like you, someone's going to love
Yeah.
you, someone's going to be
Yeah.
drawn to you in the way that you are and your quirks and your like natural whatever it
Yeah.
is.
And
So it's
isn't
just a
that
matter of
isn't that funny?
finding.
I didn't think about that too. It's because remember how I was saying that like you project all this stuff under and you only like talk to her for 5 minutes or something like that?
Right, yeah,
And you in a 5 minute conversation, you have no idea who that person is. You have no idea who that girl
no,
is,
yeah, you
And
don't, yeah.
then like you think that this person is like an angelic rose, no
Right.
faults at all, is perfect for you. And
Hmm.
then once you have more conversations, preferably like with other people and maybe even alone, more often than not, like 99% of the time, because this happens with most girls that guys meet, right? Let's not kid
Hmm.
ourselves here. After you talk with them a bunch of more times, you realize I don't like her.
Yeah. Well, there's something about that, right? When we have this natural infatuation for somebody, and when we're crushing hard on somebody, we kind of put them up on a pedestal almost,
Hmm.
and it's like they're above humanity, like they're not human, they're like above that. Because I see them, and they're just like look at this person, when deep down they could be broken in different ways, or maybe toxic, and
Hmm.
harmful for you and harmful for your scenario, and then
Hmm.
that's why it's so important that I think people have to be friends first. Like I really
Hmm.
truly believe that like you should always be a friend with someone you desire to court or to date.
Yeah.
And that way you truly know who they are, and like you're still gonna hold them up higher because you love them and you have a crush on them or whatever it is. But the more you get to know their heart, the more likely you can see the true colors of an individual.
Yeah.
The more like humanity you can kind of pull out of another person.
Remember that locker story I was telling about where I'm just like, bye.
Yeah.
Like, because, you get nervous because you only talk to them for a couple, because you see them as just like pure person. And
Mm.
then lo and behold, like a month later, after you see or have like a couple more conversations with that person, they say something that's incredibly, like in my own case, uh,
Mm.
they said something incredibly gross
Mm.
and uncouth for I think a woman that should ever say like this incredibly lewd sexual comment, and I'm just
Yikes.
like my whole like the glass brain like broke. I totally just like what did I waste my time on?
Yeah, there's that too, and then so that's why I think it's important to get to know people definitely prior to that. Have good friendships before you
Hmm.
dive into that
Yeah.
world. All right, Joe. So I want to kind of shift this a little bit if I can. Is that all right? If we shift the
Sure.
conversation here. So the direction I want to talk about is like how we as men respond and how we like react to love and to like romanticism, right? So
Yeah, this should be good.
I think naturally men are kind of more like outward lovers in the sense of how we give of ourselves and how we kind of fawn over women and fawn over people that we are attracted to. It's kind of like it's
Hmm.
like an outward expression, right? And I feel like women tend to be more inward, like an inward, like a
Hmm.
receptivity to our outward love, right?
Okay.
And so I think that's and it's very just it can be broken down to our very natural biology, right? So we're
Hmm.
outward and women are inward,
Right.
and I think so women have a tendency to want to be like nurtured, right? To like to be seen, and not just like looked upon, but to be seen, to like to
Okay.
be known as opposed to just be thought of. Women like to be loved as opposed to just being liked or like
Hmm.
recognized or whatever it
Hmm.
is. And so I think men, on the other hand, we kind of have this desire for this like to be known as well, but also to be affirmed and to be
Yeah,
like
respected. Yeah.
respected, right? And to for us to be to our work to be affirmed and all that.
Yeah, we had an
Um,
episode about what do men want. I remember your wife was there. Like men want a cheerleader. A
yeah,
cheerleader, like a validation for not only like
exactly.
who we are as a person, but also our goals, because that's an extension of what ourselves are.
Right, and for us to be proud of who we are, which is to
Yeah.
say that we're respected, right? And so what I would say and what I've heard it broken down as is like women desire love and men desire respect, right?
Okay.
Women desire love and men desire respect. And so I think
Okay.
the best relationships and for men out there who are single, like what I would say it's one of the most important things to learn about women is to
Hmm.
like learn to love them.
Yeah.
Don't just learn to respect them, like you should respect them and you should treat them well and beautifully, but you should
Yeah.
learn how to love. You should learn how to love women. Okay.
Now, when you
And that
say
means
like,
doing
yeah,
something. Sorry, Joe. So that means like
no, go
doing
ahead.
something that sometimes doesn't always come naturally to us because you tend to give what you desire, right? So
Yeah.
men want respect, so we tend to give respect, right? And
Right.
especially kind of in the context of relationships and romantic relationships. And
Hmm.
women tend to do that too with love. Like they want love, so they give love as opposed to
Now you're
giving
not saying
respect.
like don't disrespect women,
No, no, no,
right?
no, no. I'm not
Oh,
saying the
okay.
opposite. I'm
Okay.
not saying you shouldn't love. I'm not saying you shouldn't respect. Like what I'm
Oh, okay.
saying is like so I find this a lot with my relationship with my wife. It's like I desire respect so much from my wife and she
Hmm.
desires love so much from me because that's what she desires. And so at times there can be this like this not fighting. It's just like we're kind of butting heads a little bit at like what we're trying to get at and to receive. Because she
Hmm.
wants to receive love and I want to receive respect, and we're both not really willing to give. Like she's not willing to give the respect, and I'm not willing to give the love because I want to give respect. So there's kind
Hmm.
of this like thing, and then the moment that you realize and learn to break down how you are like to giving love. I'm not saying that I'm not being very articulate here, but what I'm saying is like we desire respect, so we tend to give respect. But when we learn to give love instead of just giving the respect that we think we're gonna receive, is when I think the true like romanticism can occur. Like to snuggle with your bride or to snuggle with your girlfriend is like because it means so much to them because they love
Hmm.
that, and doing it because they love that is like a gift in amongst itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's kind of drawn out, but
Yeah, yeah. I think I get what you're saying. The best boyfriend is the one who gives love in response to the girlfriend's love language.
yeah.
That's essentially what we mean here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you said it in one sentence, and I took like 5 minutes to say. Love it.
That's what comes from being an outsider looking in.
Yeah. No, definitely. And obviously, we're saying there's nuance to everything, so everyone feels differently about everything. But I think in a general sense, this could be seen as true that men want respect and women want love. Now, obviously, there's love languages, and everyone has different
Yeah,
love
love. Yeah,
languages.
everyone's got like their physical touch, and then if you really want to go overboard and talk about enneagrams, the pyramid scheme that is, um, or like your zodiac signs. Oh, I have a little bit of Neptune in my
Yeah, no, no.
in my. So I don't know what the heck any of that means, and a lot of it is just a pyramid scheme. Did you know I used to look at that stuff like, oh, in relation to like relationships, like your zodiac sign before I became a Christian. Uh,
Yeah, that stuff's all
you're gonna
BS.
have a 3-star day out of 5. What?
Okay, all right. Yeah, it's all nuts, so stuff. But
I'm predestined.
yeah. So if we were to break down how to be romantic, Joe, and if we were to break it down into like the summer, like a summary, what would you say? Like how would you be romantic?
Well, I think a lot of it starts from the actions that you take, because it's what you do that defines you. I'm a big proponent of that statement. Thank you, Batman Begins, for saying it in one sentence. But seriously, what you do defines you. Even if you're faking it, you'll eventually be able to become that type of person that you want to be. For example, if you desire to become an attractive person to the opposite sex, you know, being the type of person that is gentlemanly. For example, holding the door for the woman, not, necessarily having her open the door for herself or something like that. Being that type of person that regularly is hygienic, actually has an apartment that is furnished. Because if you're just having a deck chair in your apartment eating ramen noodles and you expect the girl to come into your world because your home is your world, essentially, you're not going to be a very marketable choice. And essentially, even if like you're in the best heart of hearts, you know it's not going to translate well if you intend to attract a mate. you know so essentially what I'm saying is be intentional about the person that you desire to be. Look for the end result. Still be that planner because that's inherently what guys are, but work your way backwards into how am I going to achieve that? How am I going to be that type of person? Don't dwell on the outcome. Like, oh, I want to be 87 years old when I die surrounded by all my kids. Yeah, don't fixate on that. Just work your way backwards. Okay, where do I find this woman? Okay, go to church. Go to, if you're politically minded, go to like those political rallies, Democrat or Republican, I don't care. Go to the places where you will attract the type of person that has the same interests as you. You're not going to
Yeah.
find that person sitting alone.
Hmm. Yeah,
Well,
get
I mean, at least
involved.
if at least if you're maybe if you're online dating, but that's a pyramid scheme in itself too. So never mind.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it works for some people, but
Fair enough.
yeah. So I think just involvement, getting involved with people, especially those with common interests. So like, in college you would have groups of like, you have your clubs, and stuff
Yeah,
like that. And
everybody's in
then
the
that's a good
same
way.
area.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's a good way to get to know people, right? So when you like begin with a common interest in mind,
Hmm.
as opposed to like I would avoid like bar scenes because that's just like it's just inviting danger into
Yes.
relationships, right? And
Hmm.
it's just setting this precedent of like, yeah, I don't really care. Like I'm just gonna try to find somebody or whatever.
Yep.
And they may not have that same interest or whatever. But um yeah, and that's all great, John. I really like your line there saying like, if you just start acting like a certain person, like you will become that certain person. So there's this line that I love that says,
Yep.
"Act like your future self," right? So you should
Hmm.
act like your future self. It's a cognitive dissonance or something. It's like this
Hmm.
psychological term, and I'm not claiming to be a psychologist, so take this for what it is. But if you begin to act like a certain individual, your brain will get used to the actions and will get used to the circumstances that you're in to then trigger like that to become your reality. Okay. So cognitive dissonance happens is when you like think a certain way but you live in like incongruently when you but you like but your life is in opposition to how you're thinking and feeling and believing, which causes tension and stress and anxiety and like a lack of identity, right? So
Right.
when you able to act like how you think you're acting and to
Right.
become, like, it's easier to become who you long to be. So if that means if you're overweight, like, act like a fit person, walk around, go do exercises, eat better, and then
And
you will become
affirm that,
healthy.
like, and yeah, and say to yourself, I'm a healthy person, I'm a
Yeah,
romantic person, and
exactly.
that you will become it.
And the same with as being
Obviously,
attractive, like, take
yeah.
care of yourself, like, do what a healthy, like, attractive person would do, like, shave your beard if it looks bad, like, cut your hair if it looks bad, like, take care of yourself, and then you'll
Yeah.
start being like that, you know?
I think there's also one last thing that we've neglected to say too. You know how you said start acting like this type of person too?
Mhm.
We are our friends. Our
Yeah.
friends,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
our friend group is essentially the person that we will become too. So if you notice that you have, because it's all in direct relation to ourselves as a whole. If you notice that your friends uh, are not the type of people that you want to see yourself being, there's no harm and there's no shame in, not just immediately cutting them out, but, trying to find other opportunities um, and other social gatherings that are more in tune with your goals. Eventually, people will get the message. Maybe they'll even come along the journey with you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's that old adage that says bad company corrupts good morals, right? So if you
Hmm.
desire to be a good person, don't surround yourself by bad people.
Hmm.
And then especially if you're looking for relationships, because then people see that, and women have a tendency to like good people. I
Hmm.
know, like, it's not common, like, to hear that, but if you want like a good girl, if you're seeking out a wife, like, you got to be a good guy, you got to have to be a good
Hmm.
man, because she's not going to come if you're not a good man, or at least if you don't surround yourself with good people. But
Yeah,
okay.
because if you don't want to show her the people that you usually hang out with, chances are you got to look inward and say, this is a pretty big red flag, and I can already recognize I got to change up my situation.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. So
I'd rather be alone than in bad
yeah,
company.
right. And then the last thing I will say about all this, like how to be romantic, is anticipate one another's needs, right?
Hmm.
Anticipate someone's needs. Like, I think that goes a long way for people, especially when your partner is like a act of service type of love language, or like
Yeah.
likes when you do things for them.
Hmm.
If you anticipate their needs, and like, it just speaks really highly about how you think about them, how you feel about them, and your willingness to love and to serve.
Right.
And that's can be seen as a very romantic thing to do.
Um, I think this is one of my favorite conversations that we've ever had.
Yeah.
Uh, Case in point, we've done a lot of conversations. We've said a lot of things that were more in the negative, talking about, current culture these days. And, there's a time and a place for that, obviously. But talking about these things are more relevant to the individual and even society as a whole. And I think us framing it into something that people can actually go forth and do instead of just framing it as complaining.
Mhm.
Uh, I think that's a really good change for us, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because our culture is very much into complaining without any sort of
Yeah.
action. So let's
Or
let's be
even or
people of
even just
action.
showing or even just showing that they are quote unquote good people without exactly acting on them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely.
Oh man, I'm very happy at this. And for people that are joining, if they are joining now or joining after the fact, thank you all for coming on for this. So what we want you all to do right now is follow us on Twitch, subscribe to Feeling Grounded Podcast, follow us also on Instagram, subscribe to us on YouTube, and we are on other mediums such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can see everything in the link in our Instagram bio. And just to give you guys a little bit case in point, we live stream every Sunday. So that live stream today was obviously us talking about how to be more romantic. March 20th is going to be called What is Man? We have a special guest coming in. March 27th, that is a subject that is to be determined. April 3rd, to close out, to start off, actually, I should say, to start off April 3rd. The title was Where Have All of My Friends Gone? So I'm very excited for what is coming up for Feeling Grounded podcast. Please tune in and hit that notification bell. And also comment on the video or the post that we do for our next episode, indicating that you'll be there, or indicating also that you guys have a question that you guys want us to address. Ask anything, because you've got questions. You're feeling grounded. That's what our whole motto is based on. I appreciate you guys. I can also speak for Josh that he appreciates you guys. Is that true, Josh?
Yes. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, tuning in.
Yeah. I'm Joe.
I'm Josh.
You've got questions?
Yo, feeling grounded.
Take care, you guys. We'll see you next Sunday at 3.
Peace out, guys.